here, going back to that, I mean, you guys, you have an incredible customer base. Like you have fans of your brand.
We love them so much. We call them our doll squad.
I love that. I love that. So do you feel that, I mean, are you working in partnership with them? Are you really taking the feedback from them? And because I find that's how we work. I mean, we're listening to our community and really listening to what people are saying.
I think that's the important thing. It's interesting because I think when you're in, this becomes your world, like when you're working every day in it, not you sometimes you kind of need to be, what's the word I'm looking for?
We have a process of how it actually works with our community.
We ask them and then we start. I broke that chair. I gave her that.
We have a Facebook Live show every Tuesday. And usually we'll put a question out to our community that we need some help on because we have our product development meeting on Thursday. So we will constantly go back to social media, to the post, to their feedback, and we really curtail our development based on what they want,
name product,
and what they're looking for.
Everything.
So it's hugely important to us, and our community is hugely important to us. And to us, it's about so much more than makeup. So without them, we wouldn't be here.
I love them. I love our doll squad. I do. I love them. They are just. Every Thursday night, I do a Dr. D on call where I do like very short makeup tutorials where they can take what I taught them. It's very short. It's like no long process, very short. They can take it and then they can just incorporate it the next day in their makeup routine. And I don't know. I look for it. That's my girls' night, like Thursday night.
So where can people go to see that?
So it's on Doll10 Beauty's Facebook and we do it live. And Leigh does makeup Mondays. And she gets get ready with Leigh on Monday mornings at 10 a.m. And then
we have What the Cup on Tuesday.
What the Cup, which is nuts. Like you have no idea where that's going to go.
Not for the
faint of heart.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean it could go anywhere. It's never scripted. It could go anywhere.
There could be some language used there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what makes it a little bit more fun. Everybody loves a spicy salsa.
Well, it is definitely can get a little spicy. It's medium temperature.
I would say I agree.
Medium. It's not mild. It's it's not, hot habanero, but it's it can get a little crazy. But then Thursday nights I do at 7 p.m. I do Dr. D on call, and they're just like the actual tip itself is like usually maybe 5 minutes on how to do it. And then the rest of the time I just like chit chat with all the girls. It's my Thursday night girl time because the world's a little strange right now. It's not like you're going out and socializing. So that's my social hour. So our doll squad, they're so supportive, so great.
And it's really great to have their feedback.
I love them. I love them.
So do you feel like in the past, I mean, obviously with the pandemic that happened and everything. So in the past year, it feels as though obviously social media, everything blew up because people are online, they're bored, they're at home, whatever. What do you think is the sustainability of that? I mean, do you feel like still people are going to be tuning in? I mean, it does become habit.
It only takes 6 weeks to change a habit, right? So that's kind of like the mean in the studies, 6 weeks and your habit has changed. That's why like if you work out for 6 weeks, you'll continue to work out. That's why I don't. No, I quit after the 5th week. But I do think that it's here. There are certain things that I love about social media. I think that it's a really great way to connect with everyone that normally you couldn't, like, and talk to people, and particularly like we were saying earlier about like the doll squad, and like really communicate with them, like real feedback, instant,
in real time,
what they like, what they don't like, what they're looking for, what they're not looking for. I do feel that it can be a little bit too much.
And I think one of the things that we talk about, and this is a little bit off topic, but I think very much on topic for the beauty industry, is the tricky thing with social media is that it can create this unrealistic standard for beauty, right? And it's like the more time that you spend online and the more time scrolling, it's almost like, well, gosh, do you feel better about yourself or worse? So I think that's one of the things that we're really working on, and the fact that we use unretouched photos in all of our social media posts, and really work to kind of bring that human element back, because it's like you can't necessarily change the world and we can't take people off of their phones, but we can bring that human element in a little bit more to just make us all feel a little bit better from the inside out and a little bit more actually connected versus virtually connected.
That is such a great point. And I know we have the same philosophy, the unretouched photos. It's such an important message to put out there, that this unrealistic standard, quite frankly, I mean, I've struggled with it as well, throughout my life.
It's amazing how many people don't realize like how the whole thing works, right? Like social media is very much not real. Like I don't even go on the popular page, because I'm like, none of this is real. It's all filtered. It's all edited. And I think that it's okay to know that, and for people to not compare themselves to that, right? Like you always say, don't compare yourself to what you see on social media, because you'll never end up happy.
Never going to get it. You're never going to get there. Because 9
out of 10 times the person that's on that photo didn't get there.
Yeah, it's filtered.
It's
filtered. I don't even know how to get to the filters on my phone. I know we have. I'm
not gonna lie, I like the filters on my phone.
The filters are okay. It's when you go into the other things where you're changing
your body shape,
your skin, and it's like we gotta accept ourselves the way that we are and love ourselves in the skin that we're in, or else, like, what are we going to do?
Short of having that kind of imagery on our social media, I mean, what do you think we can do as an industry to really kind of change the dialogue of this? I mean, it's a hard one because it's so pervasive. It's been going on it's not a recent thing. I mean, if you go back to the glossy magazine photos in the 1980s and 90s and Vogue, and it was unrealistic and not representing everybody.
That's right.
So how did we start having a little bit more inclusivity? Look at how this conversation has developed.
Yeah, I love that. But I think, honestly, that it's a responsibility of brands, a responsibility. It's not an option. It is our responsibility to make sure that we are giving real people there, real results, the real visuals. Inclusivity is a big deal for us. It's
starting that conversation around self-love. You know, I think that's one of the great things about social media is you can really speak to your customer and speak to the fact that, sure, this lipstick is fantastic and it's wonderful, but guess what? It starts on the inside, and it starts with, like, we have conversations on a lot of our Instagram lives about self-love and how do you get there, and what are the mantras that you can use, and how do you look in that mirror and love that reflection from the inside out and really take that power back. Because I think a lot of the times, what's that expression? Your diet is not just what you eat. It's also the media that you consume, the music that you listen to, and all the things in your social media feed. So really just being aware of that and taking that power back, taking that self-power back and that self-love back, so that you can, like I said, bloom from the inside out.
But I do feel that it's a brand's responsibility.
It is, I think all brands are not there yet.
They're not there yet. They're not
there yet, but I do think that I think, obviously there is personal accountability and everything like that, but even when you're trying to work on yourself, when brands are still pushing out that kind of message that is not inclusive, that is not really looking at the average person, and average is freaking beautiful for a lot of people. There's no, I've said average, and that's not the right word.
It's not.
It's not the right word.
Real is beautiful.
Okay, that's a lot better.
It's an interesting story. I mean, when I first started Doll10, this is a true story. I actually had to fight the powers that be. I'm not going to say any names, to use older models I had to fight. And I was the first brand.
True story.
First brand to use an older model. And they're like, Doris, you need to use younger models. I'm like, oh, no. I used every single different age, different skin tones and skin types. And they're like, no, we want, and every brand out there back in the day were all using very, very young girls. And the average person was like, I don't care how much of that I slop on me. I am never going to look like that young girl. So what's it look like on me? So it was something that I did a decade ago. I'm very proud of that and paved the way for that. And I took flack. And I fought hard. And I'm like, no, that our customer, our real customer isn't a teenager. She's my age. She's older. She's maybe 10 years younger. They need to see it on themselves. And it is a battle that I fought and I won and continue to do that. But it
does make me wonder who in their right mind thought that women our age are going to be interested in makeup that's going on a 20-year-old, because quite frankly, they don't have the same skin.
No,
they don't have the same skin. So I'm looking at it and I'm going, my skin's not going to blend like that. That makeup's not going to lay on my skin. I have wrinkles. It's not, I'm going to have this. I want to see.
Yeah. Want to see, how is it going to look? Is it going to lay into my lines and wrinkles? Is it going to give me the coverage of my age spots? Is it going to make my skin like bounce and look radiant? I mean, is that going to happen? A 20-year-old can put on, quite frankly, anything. She can put on anything and look good.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
And I did when I was 20.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with 20-year-olds.
I put everything on. It didn't matter. I'll show you the photos. They weren't good. I did. But now I can't do that now. But, and if a product, which is really interesting, if a product looks really good on skin that has challenges like wrinkles, like dryness, like etched in wrinkles, crow's feet, cross-hatch lines, age spots, freckling, melasma, if a product works really well and looks good on skin like that, it is a piece of cake for somebody that has great skin. Even better. So, we always, like I said, in Doll10, we work backwards. We take all the problems, everything, and then that's how we
find the
formulate.
solution.
Yeah. So it is interesting, but I'm very proud of that.
No, you guys, I actually love your message. And I love the fact that you have really great representation and the fact that the ingredients are so much like skincare.